B2B segment. One, I think in the convention centers or let's say the sports arena where there is a lot of people, and then you could bring some specific values, hotspot zone, in which in a commercial way, because even Wi-Fi could be slower there, or you can bring some services. So when he did that in 2018 February, the Winter Olympics, this launch of the 5G, the whole idea was that, the sports people, can I have the headgear of the sports people that are wearing that particular view? Can I bring it to the spectators? So you can get the sports person's views wherever you sit. Or there were 100 cameras that were covering the whole sports arena, and then you can choose. You might be sitting in a very disadvantageous position, but it doesn't matter what price of ticket you bought. You can buy a cheaper ticket but pay for this and can get a good view from a particular camera that you could choose. So these are just some examples, but around these malls and shopping complexes and sports arena and convention centers, there are models that will be rolled out in US, because all the 4 US operators have already kind of having the services in few cities. Some are in Chicago, some are in San Francisco, some are in New York, but they are thinking to launch the subsequent things. One other example that's running, in 1st December, Samsung, we worked in Korea with, there are 3 operators, LGU and the KT and SKT. Korean government came forward to have a common infrastructure, because don't choose who should be first, this and that, and it's expensive, you cannot get the return. So have a common infrastructure and launch on the same day different services. So what we did in one of the auto spare parts, so 5G, if you look into it, I talked about some of the specification points. You can make an hexagon or octagon, the spectral efficiency and peak data rate and all of those. But simply if you look into triangle, there are 3 things. Latency should be low, and then you have a high speed, and you have a machine-to-machine communication. If you just add these 3 principles, we applied there, and the whole idea was it had a high data rate, and it can see on that auto spare parts in real time if there is a crack or something, and then it will stop the spare part production. It will not happen the full chain and then say, okay, I tested and it failed. It stops in the cycle itself, because it's a real-time, latency is low, and immediately you can detect and say, oh, there is a fault, why to go further? So these are 2 examples that I could give, and then we can build around them in the manufacturing segments and in the entertainment segments.
In fact, I'll just add, I completely agree. I think even in developing nations, media will be one of the earliest industries that will start monetizing the 5G. And if you extend the example which you gave on this thing, you look at the possibilities in terms of, let's say, the ad insertions which happen within the sports transmission which happen. One is the user experience. I can view it from 100 cameras. I can switch between AR, VR. I can see the slow motion the way I want it, etc., etc. But imagine the ad insertions. So the whole concept of leveraging the variability at the edge, the intelligence at the edge, right? Today, if you are beaming an ad, right, the Electronic City and the Koramanglas and every demographics will see the same ad inserted. Getting in an edge capability can change that by multiplexing ads based on the viewership in the local area. So one area will see a Mercedes ad, other will see a Maruti ad, and the third will see a scooter ad in the same slot, right? In terms of bang for the buck, what it introduces is, it monetizes the return which you get on every dollar of ad spend is multiplied 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 times. And that's where the money will be generated. Ultimately, you need to generate money to sustain all this capex and investments. So these are the changes. And I think Paul Raj mentioned that 5G is different from 1G, 2G, 3G generations which changed. These are the kind of changes that 5G will bring in and the monetization aspects that will come in. So media definitely will be an early industry. I'll switch gear out here. I'll request, one of the key topics is the the wireless technology, the wireless aspects of the rollout of 5G, especially based on India. And the professor has worked extensively on that. He'll give us share his perspective, and I think you'll use a PPT as well.
Thank
right.
you. We can, PPTs on the background, it will be running, and it is mainly for the students, and no problem, Mr. Tyagi, Bipin Tyagi has to leave now, so we can, so you want to say something?
Sorry, yeah, just
it is disruption like 5G. So I wouldn't, and I wouldn't like to do that. But I think, first of all, I want to thank the panel and great, all the things which have been said is very well said already. I will leave with only one thought, is that how can the monetization be more wide? Because all the niche areas that we are seeing, there will be 5G, no question about it. In any technology that remains within the boundary of the elite, only actually does a particular value addition, it might become viable. But for it to replace 4G, we have to really work towards certain things by employing our minds, which is in the non-conventional directions, right? We have to generate value for people, right? That's the only thing I wanted to add. But I think, you have much better people, so I will catch up with you later. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.